I had a address only listing appointment.
Woohoo!
Oh, nice.
Yep. In Pahrump.
Hey.
Going 1978. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what happened? How did that go?
So, yeah, it's a pretty sad thing. Her husband passed away, and it was nice. She reached out from my postcard. I had no idea what she was saying. She's like, I received your mailer. I'm in Pahrump. And I'm like, I don't send mailers to Pahrump. So, but then I forgot, oh yeah, address only. That's where she came from. So anyway, but I met with her, and super nice lady. But yeah, I feel so bad. They had a lot of hoarding going on, and the husband passed away, and she's in a wheelchair with no legs. So it just like ripped me open. I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend like the whole month here because I need to help you. But anyway, so her kids are on the way to help. So hopefully they'll help her out with a lot of that stuff. But it's on 2 acres with a 1,000 square foot shop. So that should sell it. But the home itself probably needs to just, get a new manufactured home in or something like that. But it'll sell. It's just, yeah, she can't reach anything. And they had boxes and boxes stacked to the ceiling of like model airplanes and helicopters and bombers, that was her husband's hobby. And I'm talking maybe like 3,000 of them. Yeah. So I'm well, okay, I need to find you someone that likes this kind of stuff. I'm like, maybe take some pictures, post it on Marketplace, start selling this stuff. And she's like, well, these are like $300 to $500 each. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Anyway, but that was exciting. First listing appointment on an address only. So her email wasn't working, and I set her up and it still wasn't working. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to come by and go over everything with you personally. And she's like, oh, perfect, because I can't figure this stuff out. So
How's the drive out to Pahrump now?
I like it. I'd actually rather drive to Pahrump than drive to North Las Vegas because of all the
same amount of time
and traffic and spaghetti bowls. And, it's a nice drive, and they let you speed out there, except in a certain area. You got to make sure you're down.
Everything that I'm doing is up in the Northwest right now. So I'm coming home on the 95.
Yeah, it's horrible.
If it's after 2:30, I'm like, nope, I'll take the long way road.
I know, and it's funny because my husband's in road construction, so I can't even like complain to him. I'm like, I know, it's our bread and butter. I got it. It still sucks. You can't have 4 lanes going to 1 lane. Like, that's just ridiculous. But how's everybody else?
Leon, good to see you too.
Oh yeah, sitting there down here getting my coffee. I've already had my breakfast wrap. I've been to the Y. They gave me a free membership, which is hilarious because the girl goes, "God, you look familiar. I know you." So she's trying to figure out, and I asked her what school she went to. She told me her junior high school, so I gave her the back up. Turns out she was married to one of my friend's brothers. So she's like, forget it, you're just free. So my free membership at the Y the whole time I'm home. I'm loving life. Last week, there's a couple questions people asked. They were having problems with their Instagram, and I didn't hear anybody in the group suggest that maybe they should go to make sure their Instagram account is properly set up as a business account. They're not flagging. So that's something they might want to do. And then another thing that came up that, Alicia from Bomb Bomb had said, the question was asked about the link about, something about me. And, following Alicia's thought, it's like less is better. So, if you put a link for your evaluation page or something, that's good. That's all I would do on the drips going out. But then what you do is when you engage with a personal email, have your email signature go out with the something about me so that you're now making something kind of a better relationship, because the worst thing you want to do is find out you're sending something out and now you're spammed and nothing's delivering and you don't know why. And those are just some simple tweaks, because I was listening to the thing while I was getting my little elliptical on yesterday, and I didn't feel like posting it, but just quick tweaks for people that are working on signatures and whatever. and the Instagram thing, you got to make sure you got the business mode set up in Instagram, or they'll flag you eventually because they catch everybody, right, wrong, or otherwise. And then like I say, if BombBomb tells you that even they're sending less out on their stuff, you got to listen. But the vacation's going good. I've written up 3 offers while I was gone, got 4 closings, and even sending my assistant out to show some houses while I'm gone. So the running joke right now is Leon needs to take a vacation more often. But 3 weeks can be a long time. Thank God there's fishing.
Yeah, vacation means more work.
I have an issue. I don't know if everybody knows this, but I got hacked on my Facebook account and my ads are gone from from StreetText and from Facebook, but I'm still getting charged and I'm still getting leads. Does anybody have any clue how to get a hold of Facebook or how to?
Cynthia, I'll get you a link after this for support right away, so you can get start chatting to Facebook support. But make sure everybody you set up 2-factor authentication on Facebook, because
I have that.
you have 2-factor authentication.
Yep.
And how that's interesting.
They sent me an email and I pressed on it and then I got screwed up. So it's kind of my fault. So.
Okay, so they have to be able to get the access somehow. So 2-factor authentication does help. But just make sure when you do get emails from Facebook, just check it's from Facebook. If you can go over like the email address, you can always see the full web address from where it's from. That does help, but don't click on anything if it looks suspicious.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been hacked before. So I'm just going to cancel my credit card and put fraud on it because I think that's the best bet. Because they're charging me like even more money than I usually spend.
Yeah, you want to get in hold of Facebook really fast because
I can't get a hold of them. No, Aiden's been trying to send me the link for the business page. It says go to the bottom, go to get started, but I don't have that on mine.
Oh, because you're not logged in. You can't see the support link if you're not logged into Facebook, and because you're hacked, you're probably not logged in right now, right?
No, I'm logged in. I could converse with people all day long on Facebook. It's just that one account. The ads are just gone. They're just vanished.
Okay, Cynthia, let's connect after for sure. That
Okay.
seems like a in-person conversation. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Okay.
text me.
Who's me?
This is Nicole. Take
Hi,
your
Nicole.
my phone number down, 702
702
708
708
8604.
8604.
I'm going to text you a video that explains how you can get to Facebook Messenger to talk to somebody, and you can probably even get somebody on the phone.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So just text that to me and I'll text you the video.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I got a question here.
Hey,
So
Ole.
for you guys in Canada, for us in Canada, on the buyer ads, which I haven't run yet, but I'm thinking about running a buyer ad. And I've seen the samples, get your list of all the homes under, whatever price tag. And from what I understand, you should be setting it up to some automated system that automatically sends this list. I've been setting up, searches for people for 15 years up here. I've never encountered anything automatic like that unless I put it in for a daily search for somebody, but not for somebody on the outside. So how would one do this? Now it might depend on the MLS system that you're on, province by province. So in Ontario, does anyone have any clue how I could take advantage of these buyer ads, whether it's, get all the homes under $1 million or whatever?
What back office do you have? Do you use the Matrix or another one?
Hang on, there's Matrix. They've been trying to introduce a few of them. I think I'm still on Matrix. I'm on the original one.
You can do it with Matrix. So when you go in there, you can
Yeah.
log in there and you can actually set a property list right from the back end there. and then you can just drop in the email address of the person you want to send it to, and they will get, and you can set it to send them weekly, and then they can get weekly updates of a property list. And it's really a really awesome way to do it, because you can start with a generic list, like a fairly broad one. And then after about a week or two of them getting the emails, just send them a follow-up email and just say, hey, now that you're getting these emails, would you like to narrow this search down to anything in particular, like townhome, single family, based on what you need? And then that gets the conversation started off the buyer leads really
Okay,
well.
but that sounds like I've got to put in that person's email.
Yes, you do.
So it's no different than me just setting up a search for any of my clients and just keep
Ole,
adding names to it.
does your website have an ID? I'm not sure how you guys do it in Canada, but does your website have an IDX function?
The one I'm on, I have no idea. It's such a basic website. I don't even look at it. It's just kind of there.
Okay, here's my recommendation is get a website or get IDX on your website, and that'll enable a search feature on your website, and just use that link on your ad.
We've got the search, like we're using Sync through our office, through our brokerage. And we do have a search link there that I can put
What's
in.
your website?
What's that?
What's your website? Do you have a
Classichomes.ca
classic
Go
homes
get it, Wendy.
with an S.ca.
.ca?
Wendy's
You know,
going to tell
another-
you whether you have a search feature.
I should go look at it myself, right?
Yeah.
You know,
so then
another
you
thing,
go- So you go to your website and then you click on search MLS listings, and then you put in your criteria that you want. And once it pops up, then you're going to copy that link at the top, and that's what you're going to use for your ad. So this won't give them automatic emails every week like Jonathan is talking about, but it'll
Right.
get them to your website to find those properties. And then once they click on them and start, looking at them, then your website should capture their information when they want to look at more properties. So
I
it
guess
kind
it
of
could be the
sucks because
same.
they have to enter their information twice, but that's what we do. And then they automatically go into follow-up boss.
That's what we
And
do as well.
I could also just do that from Sync, I guess, through my CRM, through my office. Okay. Now the next question is, so I've been running the seller ad for a little bit, testing this, testing that, and being Toronto, it's not all that easy. So the follow-ups on that, on the automation, I've thrown in some videos here and there and all that. Now I was trying to look through what automations or follow-ups there are for buyers. And it doesn't seem like the one ad that I clicked on, it was pretty minimal, like almost nothing. So I'm just wondering what some of you folks might be using as follow-ups for buyers, because over the 15 years that I've been doing this, it's just phone calls and a few emails, and to really no great success on the follow-ups unless you catch them right away. Nothing happens.
I
So-
set up like a funnel with different things, like, helping with building credits, giving buyer tips, talking about interest rates, but also they should be getting, home searches. So that's mainly, and once they see something they love, they're gonna reach out. But yeah, we have like every 20 days. I use the lighter side of real estate because I like funny stuff. And it has your branding on it. So I just created a bunch of those, popped them into emails, and made my own little funnel for buyers. That way we can, stay in front of them, hopefully make them laugh.
And you did that through StreetText automation or?
I actually have it in follow-up boss because so I do the buyer ad, and then it links to the website, like if they want Henderson homes under 500 or pool homes in Henderson, like that link is going to go out to them in the funnel of StreetText. But then we set up an action plan through follow-up boss after that so that they can get the other ones as well. It's just easier for me, but you could totally set it up through StreetText.
Right. Okay.
That's,
Now you
that's
guys,
awesome advice. And that's the other thing is, Ole, definitely do add everybody to a property search that goes weekly, because that's your best follow-up when it comes to buyers. They click to find a list of homes. They're going to stay interested on a list of homes. They're going to get to see you every time they receive that list. And you're going to stay in touch with them with something of real value. And then when you follow up with a quick question, or have your assistant follow up with a quick question, after 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, and you will get a lot of conversations started with people, and you'll have a lot of success. So it's don't discount. Like I've seen buyer strategies just kick ass, but it's just they do that approach every time. They have a property list, and they make sure people get the email every single week. And then they tailor it, and that tailoring part starts the conversation, and before long they're your client.
Right. And if you have a good website, you'll be able to see what they're looking at. And if they've looked at something 5 times, you can follow up and say, hey, do you want some more information on this property? Maybe you want to go check it out. You can kind of spy on them that way. But
Yeah, we've got that on sync. Yeah. Viewed property 5 times, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. So as soon as they hit priority alert status, you reach out, and, they don't know you can see that, but just be like, hey, yeah, just checking out this listing. You want to go, take a look at it, and then just kind of reach out at that point.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
How's the buyer market there? Is there like 20 offers on every property? Yeah.
Yep.
Go for those.
And it's hundreds of thousands over asking.
Ooh.
It's, it's difficult here for the buyers at the low end. So the first time buyer here has got to have about 600 to start. All right. And that's that's insane for the first time buyer, because you try to save up 10% of that, or even 20% to get a good mortgage. I mean, people making low end money aren't going to save $100 grand. It's just not going to happen. So it's really difficult at that end. So they're fighting for price there, and it's multiple offers there going 50, 60, 80,000 over easily. And then if you're going at the higher end, I just had a client over the winter shopping for the 1.2, 1.5 range. We ended up at 1.8. And that was like literally 10 offers, everyone going 200, 300, 400 over asking for no reason whatsoever. Like, it was just insane. There was one house sticks out in particular. So this was in last fall. I think it sold like in October, November for whatever it was, let's just say 1.3, let's say. And in February, it was back on the market. The people never even moved into the house, and it was about $300,000 more. They didn't do anything to the house. They just bought it and then sold it. So yeah, it was a crazy ride this whole winter into summer. And now it's kind of like, okay, well, we need more buyers. And the buyer thing, it's a long process. It's just frustrating for all these buyers everywhere they look. So basically, here's what you got to tell them. You get pre-approved for, let's say, $1 million. Okay, folks, don't be looking at the houses at $1 million. You're looking at 700 to 750. So you can afford to buy it at 9.5. And it's a little disheartening for for most people. It's like, hey, we got a lot of money, but we're only getting this for this property,
And 600,000-700,000 is like a fixer upper, right?
It's the low end. It would be either a condo townhouse or a townhouse.
Oh my God.
Usually older. May have been renovated, may have not, but townhouse in okay areas, but not what they're dreaming of. So yeah, it's disappointing until they start realizing what they're getting for the money. And so that's my job, is to, hey, this is what you're going to get. And after 2, 3, 4 times of making offers, they understand what they're getting into and what they can afford to buy. And sometimes they just back out and continue to rent. It's like miserable, tough, very tough up here in Toronto area. What can you do? And you know what happened with COVID? So all the people were living in, concentrated in Toronto area. After COVID and everybody's working at home, everybody started moving out to the suburbs. So suburbia went nuts, right? So now you can't even live in suburbia because, average price 900,000, $1 million in suburbia. So you got to move way into the countryside now. And that's just not doable for a lot of people.
And then once they go back to work, they sell their home to move closer.
You know what, that's coming up more and more now. Some people are saying, hey, my office is telling me I can continue to working from home, but my spouse may have to go back, so we can't move out as far because we're not sure. So yeah, it's kind of for those that are lucky enough or in technology, they can work wherever they want. Others, you might have to stick around and do your best in the city, and what can you do, right?
Sounds like a familiar story. Maddie, that was a good cue for you to come on. So Maddie's in Toronto and she's in that boat and has done that, but she has some exciting stuff to share.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is a fun bubble to be in, especially for any of the first time buyers. It's very, very competitive. I had to go through myself, so I understand. But yeah, I just posted in the chat about this as well, and I posted in Insiders just before our mastermind here, but I know some of the individuals on this call have participated in our ad testing and our ad innovation lab before. And we have had a lot of people who have wanted to test ads. They might not have the time to come to the class or just have new ideas and want to take it as they go. So we have changed the process a bit to allow more people to be testing these ads every week and with less effort for you as well. So every week we're now going to be launching a new ad as a sneak peek based on either recommendations we hear on masterminds from coaches, stuff we see in the market, and we'll actually be setting it up for the first 10 individuals that sign up. So we'll be posting in the Insiders group about this every week, and we have a form that you have to fill out. We'll go in, we'll set the ad up in your account based on the parameters you have inputted, have it live for about a day. We'll let you know when it is live, we'll let you know when it is turned off, and we'll let you know how it is doing for you. So very easy. Basically, you don't need to do anything. We'll do all the work for you, and you'll be able to potentially get some hot new leads out of it. So that's all. Like I mentioned, I did add more context in Insiders. I did post the link to sign up for this week's in the chat here. But if anyone has any questions, please feel free to let us know. And always, please share your ideas for what you want to see and what new ad types you'd like to see. I know we always have some good ideas come out of this group.
Awesome. Thanks, Maddie. And that link to sign up is right in the chat there, which is awesome. So Maddie, do you have a sneak peek of the ad that you're going to be launching this week?
I do. Yeah, it's new construction. So it has been one that I know a few people have wanted for a few weeks. We haven't really gotten around to setting it up or having a class on it. So I have posted an image in Insiders. I'll also share it here as well in the chat so people can see it. So if you're looking for either new construction, new development styled creative, this would be a good one for you to try out.
Awesome. Thanks. So wins, any more wins?
Hey guys, it's Missy from Virginia. How are you?
Hey Missy, how you doing?
I'm good. We have a listing that's going live tomorrow that's from StreetText, and she's been such a wonderful soul to work with. We've had some crazies recently, so it's so sweet to have somebody. They have their camper out in their driveway and they're sleeping in the driveway now. We're getting ready to make it live. They don't want to mess the house up or anything. So anyway, good stuff, people. I love you guys. I've been an agent forever too. And it just seems like we're part of the Honey Badgers with EXP. So we have a great group of leadership and education, but you guys are organic and kind, and I've really enjoyed being a part of this group too. So we had one question. Donine and I like to do videos, aerials with drones and stuff. Is there any opportunity that maybe we would be able to incorporate that into one of the ads, or is that totally mess up everything for an ad? No,
you can do that. You could create a custom ad, and then after the ad is created, you just have to go to your Facebook ads manager, find that ad, remove the photo, so you delete it. And then when you go to create a new photo, you can actually select video and you can upload the drone footage as your, so if you're doing like a property listing, or if you're doing a, you want to do a fancy buyer ad, something like that, you could do drone footage. That's how you would do it.
Because we thought we were trying to do it in one of our listing, one of your, whatever it is, a listing of ours that we could put in there. And I did one the other day, just a new construction that's under 300 in this area, and it blew up. So that might be, I know you were going, and we have a PDF. I think we shared it with, I can't remember who our coach is. We shared it with you all, a PDF of new construction verbiage, or, we have septic here, which nobody knows what the difference between a conventional septic system and alternative and things like that. So hopefully that'll be something that we can turn into a PDF and follow up with, kind of like what y'all were doing with the 12 questions or 12 things not to do when you list or whatever too. So
yeah, that's a great idea. The when you do create that, post it in the insider group. I'd love to see it.
Okay. All right. Well, Dawnine is the other half of my head. She loves doing all this stuff. So that was one of the questions she asked me to ask you guys. So
when you go to the ad, just find it in the ads manager on Facebook, delete the image. When you delete the image, then you get the option to add a video.
Okay. And then tagging too. I think I forgot to tag. So you have to tag from the ad, right? Because in the option when your profiles come up for your folks, there's a tag there, and some of them are sellers and some of them are the 12, whatever. Is that something you put in the actual ad when you're building it out, the tag choice?
That goes into the automation. So you can actually customize that from the automation.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I appreciate it. You guys are fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Missy. Any other wins? I did have one question.
I have a question.
Oh, Wendy, go on.
Okay, so, and I think I brought this up before, marketing in other areas. I did a map of an area in Utah, and Lori Allen, she works my leads over there. And it's doing really good. I mean, and I sent her a StreetText lead and she closed it, and it was a very nice one, I mean, 10,500 for the referral. I'm like, that was the easiest money ever made. I'm going to run an ad over there. So I've been sending her all my StreetText leads from it. And I don't know, I kind of feel, and I'm a broker, I should probably know this, but it's not that I'm trying to sell Utah properties and just offering value, to know their home value, right? So, and then once they respond with their address, name, and email and phone number, then I say, hey, I work Vegas, or, Las Vegas area, but I have a kick-ass agent over in your area. Her name is Lori Allen, and I give them all her info, and then I send her the lead. So, I don't know. It just seems kind of brilliant, but illegal at the same time. So I'm still not sure. I know if, it doesn't feel right, that it's probably not right. And that's kind of how I'm feeling, but that's like the best money ever, right? Is if you don't have to actually work the leads.
Hey, let me
That
ask.
is kind of brilliant, Wendy.
What?
That is brilliant.
Right?
Let me ask you, are you asking that lead permission to send that referral out, or are you just telling her that?
Basically, once I get their info, I have an automatic email that we send out to the Utah people in that area that, unfortunately, I only work the Las Vegas area, but I do have an amazing agent in your area that can help you with your home's value. And here's her info. I'll be passing your info on to her. So like I put it in there. And so she'll be reaching out to you shortly. And then, so they're already prepared for that. And, even they start chatting with my assistant, and then we put it in there as well. So that Lori will be reaching out to them. So,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, does anyone know the rules for that? It's obviously state by state.
Well, there's no reason you can't run an ad anywhere. I mean, Wendy, I think this is brilliant because if you find these untapped areas where no street texters are working and start running ads in that area, as long as you have a referral partner there, you're just feeding all of the leads to them, let them do the work in return for a referral fee. You don't even need to be licensed in that state. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but some of it makes me feel like that's, and I'm not supposed to be doing that because I even screenshot the Google Earth area of her area. So like it is.
I'm sure the StreetText admin probably isn't real happy that you're multitasking in different areas without having somebody else join StreetText to do those areas. But again,
yeah, I may
brilliant.
just have to get licensed in Utah. I love it there anyway.
Yeah, I same as you, Wendy. I always trust my inner gut. So if I don't know the rules and I'm not feeling great, I just won't do it. But I just find but at the same time, if I'm on board with Jeff, it just seems to make sense.
As long as you are not actively practicing. So when they turn around and they come into that and give them to someone else, you can't start giving them home values and things like that. But you can turn around and refer them to someone else. I started doing that because I was getting a lot of VA hits on my VA ads I was running. And at first I turned a bunch of them away. Oh, sorry, I don't work in your state. Then when I go, God, I'm an idiot. I could have been getting referrals. So now what I do is I'll turn around and I find agents in those areas and say, hey, I got a lead for you, da, 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 da. Boom. And a lot of them found me because they had possibly thought they might be relocating to Washington. And so it's like, yeah, as long as you're not actively practicing and you hold a license in good standing in your state, you are able to collect referral.
Right.
Also, Wendy, just get licensed there.
I know, that's what I said. I love Sand Hollow, so I would love to do real estate there. It's only like an hour and a half away from here, but I don't have time for school.
Well, no, yeah, you don't have to go up there to do it, but then this way you've got no question at all if it is or is not allowed.
Right.
Hey, Troy, if I start running ads in Costa Rica, will you work them for me?
Oh my gosh, that would be even better. And then like we can go there. It's a write-off now.
Problem is there's no inventory whatsoever here.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Are you running home value ads there?
I haven't convinced anybody yet to do it yet.
Oh, you're not.
See, I run
licensed in Costa Rica?
Is anybody?
Troy, you're not licensed in Costa Rica?
Me? No.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that wouldn't work. I'm like, I'm already building my ad.
Wendy's writing this down. I knew that. No,
Wendy's just taking note of all the areas.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of referrals off my relocations. On the back of my webpage, have my guy building me relocation pages. So after I get done building all the military ones for relocation, I went and looked up the 25 hottest cities for retirement and built pages for those as well. So whether they're leaving here selling something or want to go there and buy something, it's like, once again, it's a business. So Wendy, you're handling it exactly like you're supposed to.
And it just goes to show when you know the value of what you have, you know the value of developing a funnel and a lead system. Like the veterans on here, the fact that you're like, hey, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I know there's great potential in here. And if others don't see the potential, I'm going to run the ads there and I'm going to help them realize the potential of it too. It's just that when you have a funnel and you have a database and you recognize the potential of nurturing that database, you see the potential. It's like you can't sit there like Jeff, I could see his wheels turning like when Wendy's saying that he's already like, oh, there's so much potential there. And that's
my ad spend is way less there than it is here. So
Right.
I mean that's the thing is like, yeah, I made 10,500 on a referral, so I want to dump some money back into the system, and I've only spent $240 and we've gotten 20 emails. So hey, if she closes another one, I'll keep doing it. But yeah, that's pretty crazy what you can do.
I got a lead from Mexico last week and threw it out there on the Insider. And Troy told me we didn't have anybody in Mexico, but wow, if people in Mexico are using Facebook, why not?
Right. I would still find them someone. Either I go onto Lab Coat Agents, because as soon as you put something in there, you'll get like 50 people calling you about it. Or you can go into Zillow, type in that area, and then read the reviews and stuff of the other agents. That's how I used to find agents. But yeah, Lab Coat Agents, it's kind of brutal too. They will call you through Facebook Messenger and have their whole pitch. And then they're like, what? Send it to 5 people. I want to be one of those 5 people. Do it. I got this. Like, oh my God, I'm at an appointment. So be careful when you post in there. You'll get a million people.
All right. I got a little nugget because I've been pushing video stuff from YouTube and all that there, and then kind of doing some tests and research because YouTube and Facebook are best friends, not. They turn around and kind of don't give you the exposure you would. So for some of the folks that are looking to post videos on YouTube and then put them over into Facebook, my suggestion is go online and find the best. There's a program, I'll put a link in the StreetText Insider group, where you can go in and look at the MP3 converter, they call it. So you can convert your video to an MP3 and then post that in Facebook instead, and you'll get the exposure and the look. And then the only thing else you might want to do is just put your link underneath that for additional homes or whatever to drive them to your YouTube channel. But your exposure rate will go down in their algorithm if you're using YouTube to post your ads or whatever you want to run. So unless you're like doing a drone shot, you've got somewhere else to host it that's not a major competitor, you won't get the views you had before. So I'll post a link. And you can go look at that thing for MP3. It's real simple because all you do is post a link, it converts it, it makes it MP3, and then you go back and post it. And if you're wondering why you weren't getting a lot of exposure or hits before, that'll probably drive your stuff up. And it's my price to shop and $3.99. And I say that especially when you do drones as well. So, and posting it if you're wondering. So even if you'd have posted the link in the StreetText dashboard, once it hits Facebook and Facebook looks and goes, oh, it's YouTube, they can't totally block it, but it restricts the way the algorithm gets it for views and shows. And, we're always talking about the first 500 people to look at something. If the first 500 people aren't getting the hits like that, you're not going to get blown out there to get the looks and exposure you want. So that's my tech tip for the week I found out last week. And I'll post that in the Insider and pick the one you want. And then let's all just see what increases, because I'm starting to go back and reload stuff of mine to put there. I discovered that I was building the 12 tips. Doing a video for each one, and I'm doing the converter instead of just doing YouTube, so I can just blast out there.
Yeah, I do the same testing. Like I'll post the raw video, for the drone, and then I'll post the YouTube video link. And I pretty much have to pay to push that YouTube link out, because Facebook doesn't want you to leave Facebook, so if you post YouTube link or any link like 3D tour links, anything that's going to drive them away from Facebook, they won't push it out to as many people. But if you do the raw video, then which I want more views on my YouTube, so I get it, but you got to pay for that. But if you post the raw video, they'll be sending it out to everybody, because people stay on Facebook and just watch your video.
Well, the secret is once you post that MP3 or the raw video, underneath in your verbiage, you can always post a link to say for additional views, come, see it on my YouTube channel or whatever you want to put. But the video itself is what Facebook's going to track, not that link. So that's how you'll get the play.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So, okay. Yeah. So you do both. You post the raw video and then the YouTube link.
Yep.
So they can watch the video or go to your YouTube.
Yeah, but the MP3 will get the algorithm out of Facebook, whereas the YouTube link won't. And then if people turn around and want to go click the link, now you drive them into the YouTube channel and start getting the views. And so the funny thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and look at everything I've put in there in the past, and I'm gonna repost it as an MP3 in there, just to get the exposures and the looks up.
Yeah, that Tube Buddy is pretty cool. I love that. It's a YouTube helper, and it basically tells you what to do. I mean, I was kind of blown away, and I paid for the extra so that it would tell me, more stuff. But yeah, it tells you how to do your cover, and it compares your cover to like everybody else's cover, and tells you what tags to use, and how to do the little, chapters. And I mean, I have all of mine at like 85% now, and they were at like 26. So
go download Keywords Everywhere also. That's a Chrome extension. And any search you do in Google, it will go find the highest returning things to match that. So if you're trying to take and look for a term or something that's going to give you content or keywords or whatever, that is the same as TubeBuddy.
So Keywords is a website?
Keywords Everywhere, yes.
Oh, everywhere? Okay.
I think it's like $10 for 10,000 keywords. It takes forever. I'm still running on the same $10, so that tells you something.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. It's hard. It's not like Facebook. Facebook is easy, getting Facebook friends, easy. Getting followers on YouTube is like, want to slit my wrist. I hate it, but gotta get out there, right?
Yeah, best and greatest investment is your time.
It's one of those things when you are proactive with your marketing, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You will find that other stuff will start percolating out of the blue. And the more you, doing the Facebook marketing is important. Going out there, building your YouTube channel, it makes sense. If you're doing BombBomb videos already, take those same videos and upload them to YouTube. If you're doing property tours already, take those same videos, upload them to YouTube. You're building a channel, you're building an audience, even if it starts as a small little trickle, even if it starts at just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people, it really doesn't matter. I've talked about this in the past, but like my blog, when I started it, I would get like maybe 9 visitors a month. And it just didn't really matter to me because I was just writing the content and I just kept putting it out there. And then one day I logged in and it was hundreds of thousands of views and hundreds of thousands, like crazy. And so it's the same thing with YouTube. The algorithm works on a few factors. Number one is it's about volume. So you want to make sure that if you're putting out videos, you're doing quite a lot of videos in a row, because that's telling the algorithm, okay, I'm here, I'm creating content. Number two, it's about likes. You know how everybody says like and subscribe? Like and subscribe is the way that YouTube recommends videos. So the more likes it gets per audience view, it gets more, it recommends it to other people's feeds, people who watch similar views. So if you create a video and it gets a lot of likes, that might be something you want to consider boosting just on YouTube itself, and create a very low budget ad around that YouTube video just to boost your likes. You'll start to see it. Now, subscribers on YouTube, it's like 1 out of every 10,000 views. But the other thing with subscribers you'll notice is like people who have a lot of subscribers, only 5% of those subscribers, 5% of those subscribers are the ones that watch their views, like watch their other videos. So it's part of the story, but it's not the whole story. The biggest thing is just making sure you're getting those likes and because then they're gonna, those videos are going to get shown to everyone else. But the YouTube strategy is cool, but it's like anything. If you do a little bit everywhere, or I shouldn't say that, if you focus your activities on something, you'll find a little bit of percolating everywhere else. It's just the way it works. You'll get calls from people. You put an ad on Facebook and all of a sudden your friend Susie, who you haven't talked to in years, calls up and says, hey, I saw this, or maybe they didn't even mention that they saw it, but they did see it. And it just kind of reminds them, prompts them to have a conversation. And you see, it's just the way that that marketing works. It's about standing out, but it's also about putting that energy in just to make sure that you're driving the momentum wave forward. And then at a certain point, all of a sudden that wave is so big that you start to ride the wave. And that's a pretty cool place to be. But you want to keep reinvesting back into it because you want to keep it growing. It's really, really important with marketing. So any other wins or any other questions that anyone has to have for us? I mean, this is a good time to ask. You can ask anything about Facebook ads, YouTube, Chrome extensions.
I was also thinking in terms of like here we are tailoring down towards the end of August. We're heading into fall. Anytime there's a season change and a shift when those things are happening, that's when people start to make decisions. So like I wanted, like, let's brainstorm, like, what are we doing with our databases right now to prepare for the fall? Are you guys doing anything that you think share worthy, or you think that you've always done seasonally with your database as you head into the next season? Because like you want to start thinking about it now. A lot of people will do is like September 1st will come, but there's no plan for how am I going to prepare for the fall. So does anybody want to share kind of what they're doing right now as we shift seasons, or something you commonly do every season?
Normally I have what I call my end of year roll, and I had been starting in October. You know, we always say it takes 60 to 90 days to get a result. Last year I was like, pandemic, maybe we need to get a little sooner started on this. So I started in September. And that way you finish out the year strong, and like you roll into the next year still going. Because I said closings that just rolled into January. So it's nice when January 2nd hits or whatever, and boom, here you got a closing. But we go back to, I always say, it doesn't do no good to get more leads if you're not working the ones you have. And it already got touched on earlier about going in here, starting at your oldest ones and working your way up. So if you haven't sat there and did it, it's one of those things where go take an hour, a couple days out the week even, just to go start hitting the re-engagement, start updating campaigns. One of the things I remind everybody occasionally is the fact that your StreetText campaigns might have stopped running for the leads you have in here. I'm impressed with the guy that said since February, 360 something leads. I was like, I bow to you, man. But you definitely got to look and see at this point, at the 6 month mark or 9 month mark, whatever campaign you're running, since you can click on your ad and click on the leads, you need to go see if you have anything going, because it does no good to have leads that aren't getting touches. So rather than say, oh yeah, at the end of the year, I'll start this in December, that means you're not seeing nothing until February. Now is the time. And so you start your end of year roll now. That's how you end your year strong, not start at the end of the year and nothing happens till the next year. So that's what I strongly recommend. When I get off my little vacation, when I get home, that's what I'll be doing, because the results are proving themselves for every year. And then one other thing about the matrix systems, I run matrix for MLS. They've got a feature in there I use that I email myself. I can go in and set up, and I haven't been doing buyers because it's too brutal in Seattle for me there. But what I was doing before is I would run my ads for the new construction for all over. I'd have it come to me. And then when that person comes, I just have the link and I drop it on people, because it stayed live. It always updated. It just always updated. And if they came in looking or wanting more information, then I would sign them up for something. But I never had to go in and create an individual one. I had one running all the time. And it works because it refreshes every 15 minutes. So I was going in and just doing actives. What I do on the sellers, I go active pending sold, simply so that they could see what's on the market and how fast it went. But use your own email, send it to you. You've got the link, drop it on your site if you want to do it in Facebook or whatever, or put it in your phone in your notes. And when the thing comes across and they hit that StreetText ad, take that, copy it, and just paste it into the email or whatever. And it just takes minutes, not hours, because you've already pre-built it.
All right.
Yeah, these are really good tips. So the key there, I think, for getting ready for fall, the end of summer change, this is a good time to touch on all your database again. And you can keep the email, the communication short, but you want to keep the question, whatever the question was that they had when they originally came. Maybe they were curious about a home value, or they were curious about his property list. Remind them of that, even if it's 3 months later, because people's interest never disappears entirely. They go through, we've talked about this, peaks and valleys. And so they might be in a second peak right when you send that email. The larger your database grows, the more people who are going to be at that peak when you send that email. So if you do that every 2 months, every 3 months, and you send that outreach email, the number of people that respond to you, the number of listings and the number of buyers you get will grow every single time, because the number of people that you've got in your database has grown over that same time. So you just want to keep doing that and keep it timely. And obviously there's tons of really great ideas coming up. You've got it's the end of summer. You could send, hey, here's the summer newsletter. It's a great way to sort of like share on like what's been going on in your life, build that affinity between you and your contacts. And then of course you have the fall coming up, so you can send recipe cards. People love those like you put those in your emails and then send something that matches in the postcard. It's a great way. You can kind of like get a 1-2 punch there. That's another really important thing. But I think what's most important of all these things is that taking action is really easy. It's really, really easy when you aren't feeling like you're carrying the weight of yesterday with you. And so what I mean by that is sometimes we've done things in the past and we haven't seen immediate gratifying effects the way that we would love to see them. Or we saw someone else's story and we're like, oh, I want that story, but my story looked different. And so the problem is sometimes we carry this weight of yesterday with us and we're dragging that into our future success or our not future success. And so it's really important. This is the most important, is that we have to sometimes just let it go and just say, okay, that was yesterday, but it's not my tomorrow, and it's not my future, and it's not the future that I have in mind in the store for the vision of where I'm going. Because the vision that you have for yourself, the direction that you have, where you're going is real. And it's actually something that you will see transpire if you just go and get it. And so the one thing that can really like make and break the difference in real estate is the energy we wake up with to take action on the ideas that we have that we know are going to get us to our future. And it's so simple. It's the same thing when you're working with your clients. You see people, they're like they're indecisive and they're not making that step. And you're like, why are you not making that step? This is the place. This is the exact place that you've described. We've talked about. We know you want it. This is it. Why are you not making it? It's because of this indecision of the baggage that they're carrying. And so people like, they need to let go of it. And you've seen it with your clients, but it's the same thing for ourselves. When we go out there, when we go do our lead generation, we got to say, okay, you know what? That was then, but I'm wiser, smarter. I've practiced and I'm going to try again. And if you see, it's just the most amazing thing. You do a little bit, like the number of times I'll hear people who are like, oh my goodness, I love, it's the funniest thing. Like they'll be like, oh, I love StreetText. I went and I got a bunch of leads and then I door knocked on every single one of them. I'm like, wait, so you got the leads and then you door knocked the leads. And they're like, yeah, and I got somebody and now I'm listing their home. I was like, wow, you earned that. That was in StreetText. We didn't do anything. That was 100%. You earned that. I was listening to this lady on a podcast. She's competing at the Olympics. She's a US wrestler and she's awesome. She's won 5 world championships. So she's won the most world championships for any wrestler in history, male or female. And she was talking about, they're asking her, like, how did you get into this? Like the culture. I mean, you've had to wrestle a lot of guys, like, to go into the thing. Like, was that weird? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, and she said, my coach, he set the standard. When we showed up for the very first day at our wrestling gym, he said, everybody here is welcome. I don't care who you are. You're welcome. Everybody will have an opportunity to earn a spot on the team. And I think sometimes we've got to ask ourselves, are we earning a spot on our own team? Are we waking up with the energy saying, am I earning a spot where I'm sitting? And it's so important, but you earn that spot, you will go forward and faster than you've ever gone before. And, then you can, it's like, and then you can ride that wave. Momentum starts to create itself. It's the coolest thing. It really is. It gets exponential. It goes faster and faster and faster. But that first, like the amount of energy it takes to lift an airplane, ask Leon, the amount of energy that takes to get a plane off the runway. That's the hardest part. But you do that, it will be worth it.
And I think especially like right now, the story you tell yourself about summer's not a good time to build the business is a story that's not serving you well. Summertime is an amazing time to build a business. Why? Because everyone else is putting their feet up and relaxing. They're believing that story. Now's when you build the runway. people in summertime, because they have a little bit more free time, are thinking about things. They're making decisions. Their lag time is gonna delay. Like you're not gonna get, and that's the problem. It's the summertime. We send information out. We don't always get a response. We second guess what we're doing. We tell ourselves the story that summer's not a good time to be doing this. I'll lag off on it, but it's actually the best time to be doing it. People are making decisions. They just aren't responding to you. Summer response time will lag, but when the kids go back to school and things start to get going again, that's when they remember, and that's when they're going to reach out. And that's when you're going to see the reward for the work that you're doing now. And that's the problem, is we become so instantaneous. So there's lots of amazing potential sitting there in your summer right now. Like, be really active, and you're going to set yourself up for an amazing fall. So don't lag just because you're not getting the responses. Yes, people are on vacation, so they take 2 weeks off, but they read your email when they're on vacation. They just weren't in the mindset to respond to it, but you made an impression, and they're going to respond to it. And it's going to come this fall, but only if you keep your foot on the pedal. Like, don't take your foot off the pedal this summer. Like, put it down, because other people are going to take their foot off the pedal.
Yo,
I know
100%.
we can tell you're in Canada because you said they take 2 weeks off for vacation.
No, I just threw that out there, but yeah.
But
2 weeks
that's
off, or
100%.
9 months off, or a year off from maternity leave.
And if you're like, here's the thing as well, on that note, is if you're really hungry and you really are motivated and you really go for it, it's okay to take a week off. It's okay. I just took last week off, and I'm wondering why I didn't do it sooner. Honestly, like, it's okay, because guess what happens? You start to, like, you're like dreaming, vision, like you're just like, oh, there's so much. There's so much. Now, so it's okay. Take a week off. I saw Jeff was living the life. I was living vicariously through him. And it's okay, you know, take a week off. But like, when you come back, know that you're putting that gas down, because that energy, it's worth it. It's so worth it. So any final questions, remarks? Curtis.
Hey guys. I was just wondering, going back to the sellers dropping off the email campaigns. I've been with StreetText about a year now, so I've got a few I know are dropping off. Is there a way to see who's fallen off, or get notified for future ones that fall off?
You can see, if you go to the events, I'll have to see if I can find that for you. If you go to the contact itself, you can see whether they're subscribed or unsubscribed. Within the account, I'll have to look it up. It'll show up as a lead event. It'll show up as unsubscribed as a lead event. Okay. So I think there is a way. I'll have to find it for you, and then I can share it with you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Especially if there's kind of a way to like see it in bulk instead of individually, but that'd be cool. Yeah. And I was just wondering too, on the BombBomb videos with Leon was mentioning, would you suggest like uploading like the CMAs that we're doing to YouTube? Is that kind of what you're talking about when you're saying to upload our BombBomb videos, or is that maybe TMI for people? I don't know.
What I meant, yeah. So like, if you're doing a BombBomb video, say you're in front of the camera, you're doing it anyways. Do a market report, like a weekly market report or a monthly market report. Take that market report, upload it to YouTube, send that same market report to your list.
Yeah.
It's like you're hitting two birds with one stone. So you're doing the work of filming it anyways. You're the expert. You've just filmed a market report. Everybody's following you. They want to know what's going on. You know the information more than anyone else. So just this week, an agent in our city posted on Facebook, the average sale price in a home in our city just passed $1 million. Like, it's high, but of course that blew up. And so everybody's following, like, if you know information that other people don't know, what you understand the market better than anyone else. You got your finger on that pulse. Film that, put that on YouTube. People will start following you on YouTube because they want to know. It's and it's the same thing. And then you can even tell people, okay, if you sent them the video. So Marley, she's in our community. she said that because she does like a lot of YouTube videos too. She said she went to the grocery store and people started calling her YouTube famous because they're like, oh my gosh, I know you. You're that agent. And they get all starstruck. But that's what she does. Is she does the videos and then she makes sure they go on YouTube as well.
Yeah, just constantly repurpose anything that you do and put it on every channel. One, because the algorithms on each channel are only going to show it to a certain portion of your audience. So I know, like, I've been in fitness for years and I would get a chunk of registration from Instagram. I would get a chunk of registration from Facebook. I would get a chunk of registration from my email. And then I'd still have people go, oh my God, I didn't know you were offering this online program. And I'm like, I sent it to like 5 different channels, but finally it was the email channel that hit them. So if you're doing the content, multi-purpose it everywhere, like that 12 tips, if you're going to do a little video on one of those tips, throw that 12 tip thing into one of your drips on your seller campaign, throw it into your email list, throw it on your YouTube channel, put it on Instagram, like, because you never know which content is being shared with what like audience you have. So that way you're just ensuring you're going to hit as many people. You're already doing the content. It doesn't take a lot of time to just put it on every channel.
Does YouTube allow you to target like a geographic area? I don't remember that.
Yeah, they do have a way to do that. And I think that at that point, you're just paying for it. And they don't put the same restrictions on you as Facebook has, because YouTube lets you get into your demographics of what you're doing. But Curtis, on the one thing I was going to say, so starting with the raw video that you make, do it in BombBomb, or just do it raw, upload it into BombBomb, and then I would upload that into the HomeBot, because HomeBot is user-friendly to YouTube, BombBomb, and all that. But the nice thing with BombBomb is you can get more accurate track for activity. And then when you load across to YouTube, that converter program I said earlier, I posted a link inside the insider group already. I would take that and change that to the MP3 and put that on the Facebook. That way, you know, it's going to cross-load from Facebook to your Instagram if you have it. And knock on wood, if you haven't updated your Instagram to a business account, go change it so you don't get bad boy or bad girl hack slapped on the hand. And so you're taking one video and you're only having to convert it one time, as far as for the MP3 thing for Facebook to get activity, but it'll work everywhere else. So now you're covering HomeBot, you're covering BombBomb, you're covering YouTube, and now you're covering Facebook and Instagram. So when you say reaching the masses and playing the numbers, you've just made your numbers even better.
Yeah, I think that's great. If you can be more efficient with what you're doing and you have a system that you follow, but the key is consistency. And that's what I meant when I was talking about the blogging earlier. The key is consistency. You know, that took years. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't like I woke up one morning and there it was. It was many, 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 many years of getting, like, I think it was 2 years where I probably had like 10 people a month visiting the blog. And people forget that it takes time to see that, but it's actually okay because time takes care of itself. If you take care of your practice, if you take care of doing the work, time just keeps moving forward. So if you just leave a trail of activities behind, wow, amazing. Think about that. Like, time's doing the heavy lifting for you. You're just sending out the stuff. You're doing your advertising. You're following up your leads. You're posting your videos on YouTube. You're sending your CMAs. You're doing the really important stuff. You're establishing yourself as the market leader. And then all of a sudden, the number of people that are following you, who are listening to you, they're out there doing the work for you because they're telling their friend, hey, did you check out that email I just got from Wendy? Did you see the one I just got from Josie? Did you see the one I just got from Curtis, Leon? You name it. Like, they're talking about it, and they're sharing it with their friends. Like, oh my goodness, did you see like the average house price has just hit this, this number? Amazing. Where'd you get that from? Oh, this is Curtis. So it's a market report, but you're basically you're doing the work and time's taking care of the rest. And then one day people will look at you and be like, okay, how do I get there? And you can say it's consistency.
So what do you think works better? Like, if I was to sit here and talk about it, I just don't want to be boring, or like the little bubble and show the stats, or talk about it and have the words underneath, what I'm saying, or whatever that's called, captions. So,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to send boring reports out to where people unsubscribe.
Wendy, you should do it while you're rock crawling. Like you'll be in your Jeep, you have a wheel
Yay,
up.
that means I get to go out every Monday and rock crawl, right?
And it doesn't have to be weekly, it'd be monthly. Do it monthly. But the key is that, yeah, you don't have to do it boring. You be really creative with how you do it. You could be sitting at a lunch with a client and you can have a conversation and they might be really like camera friendly. And you can say, hey, I'm just talking to, so-and-so, and we were talking about the market. And it just occurred to us that maybe this is something other people would be really interested in knowing about too. And you make it interesting.
With Wendy, I could see her driving down the road in the Jeep going, we all wish the road of life would be traveled this easy, finding a house instead of, and then it switches over to her rock climbing to her thing. Because she puts the humor in her stuff. But one of the things, Curtis, to ask, I could see doing videos where you're explaining the process of a CMA, but I don't put the CMA in there because at that point you'd be at it forever. Less is best. People rather understand the process of it all. And then you're able to end off with, a link for them to, request their own personalized, to drive them to your evaluation page or whatever. But those are the things that'll sit in your site for 2 and 3 years later. People come in still clicking because it's still relevant information for what they're doing. There was something else someone had the StreetText group that I liked, where they've got the prices of the houses. They had the question mark, not the actual price. Because now 5 years from now, that question mark is still relevant. Whereas if I said the house is worth 400,000 now and a guy clicks in it 5 years from now, it's like, nah, no way. I know that neighborhood. You've lost the person because they don't think you're in touch with the area. So it's all about, if you're going to make some relevant content, you want something that I could see if it's something like right now happening for a current event. But if you're doing something overall that's supposed to last for a while, make it relevant in a way that it's still going to be relevant years from now. That's how you're going to get the engagement.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, I was just kind of wondering about like originally like posting the actual CMAs, but yeah, I do post content pretty regularly, and actually that's been my goal for the second half of this year is to be posting essentially weekly is what it's going to work out to YouTube, but across all the channels. And then I hired a company called Viral Marketing, so they've helped me kind of streamline that now, so I'm getting it out more regularly. And then also recently I kind of teamed up through my title and then an escrow company, and they have a professional studio and they do interview style videos. So it's pretty cool because it comes across, it's more engaging and it comes across like you're the expert being interviewed. So those are just starting to get pumped up too. And actually from the viral, I did get a deal off that. I started going out just with my videos to my database, and I'm closing on one this week. So it works.
Yeah, Viral's located out of Omaha. And they do a lot of stuff for people that really want to step up a little more. So one of those things, be budget conscious of what you have. I could see you doing a CMA initially and showing what goes into the whole CMA and just a generic whatever. But then, like I say, I just, and at that point say, hey, we'll just take a house at random. And like I said, Google Earth has been doing wonders for me in my CMAs because I started a landmark in the area. And as I'm talking, it zooms out, comes into their home, and I just say, hey, I just want to, give you an idea of, what the home looks like, this, that, verify that this is in fact your home, and motion catches eye. And I don't edit any of that. I haven't had to. I keep it raw. I keep it real.
Well, that's awesome. So yeah, Curtis, what was that website?
Which one? For viral?
Yes.
Oh shoot.
There it is.
Called Viral Marketing.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody. Deeply appreciate you guys. I love the fact that you're on here. It's true. Marcus talks about this every week, but it is true. When you go on here, you show up, you do the things, it inspires you. You go out there, you get it, you make things happen for the weekend. You come back, and before long, you're going to look back at the end of this year and say, "Wow, this is the best year ever." But it's that showing up and the consistency, and there's always something to learn. There's always something new. Leon, you talk about that too, but it is true. You always do learn. There's something really exciting. So thank you very much. Appreciate you all. I hope you have an amazing week. And yeah, go crush